Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss sound flow diagrams, and this is going to be different for everyone's sound system that they choose, but I'm going to show you a basic one and then let you take it from there. You'll need to include all the products that you're going to use to build your imaginary sound system for whatever scenario that you've come up with. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm working in Google Slides right here so that you can see my final product could be very similar to the product that you're using. I think I'm going to start with an arena, and then we'll see if we do a more easy one after that. So what I'm going to do is I've got a blank slide up here. You can have your background, whatever you've chosen. I just wanted you to have a blank one so it's easy. And I'm going to insert some images. And all I'm going to do is hit the image button right here and then search the web. So I know if I'm going to go live on a stage, let's say I would want for a really nice mixing board for the stage, I might want this Midas 2 console. And so I'm going to click that picture after I search the title of my console. And oops, my video is in the way here. Then I'm going to hit insert, and lo and behold, here comes my mixing board. It's creating the image now. Boom. So there's my Midas console. We actually have one of these at Peachtree Ridge. We're going to shrink down the picture then, because we're going to need a lot of room on this. So shrink, shrink, shrink. And I'm going to put that, we'll say about right here, and you'll see why later. Okay, now that's the central unit of my system, because everything is going to either flow into or out of that system itself. So what is going to flow into that system? Well, if we're going to go big time, we're going to need, let's say, like on the basic side, you could have a microphone snake. So we're going to go in again and search for microphone snake. Now, if you have already picked up, no, I don't want actual snakes. That's weird. Erg. Well, I guess here is where this might fall short. Nope, still not going to get us there. So let's go to sweetwater.com. We're going to search for a microphone snake. And then lo and behold, here we have all our different microphone snakes. Now, these are another option. This is an internet-based microphone snake, and look, it's designed to work with the Midas system already. Woohoo! So this guy, you can plug 32 microphones into him. Then you actually run a Cat 5 cable from this to your mixing board, and that carries all the signal. So if I can't find it in that search bar, I'm going to take a screenshot of this, click, click, and then I'm going to come back to my presentation, and I know that my screenshot should be going to my desktop at some point. There it is. I'm just going to drag it over and drop it in. So if you've already made pictures of your products for your slide earlier, you can either copy and paste them or go to the internet and grab a click over. So there is my my box for transferring. Now I'm going to connect these two things, and I'm going to do that using an arrow. Sound is going to travel to this particular box in, let me get my arrow tool again. There, you want it to be the crosshairs. So it's going to go this direction. So we're moving sound now from the box to the mixing board. What's going to go into the box? Well, let's try an SM57 microphone. Your microphones will go to the box, and you can shrink that down if that's one of the ones you bought. So I might do a microphone that leads to the box. Again, I'm going to pick my arrow. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to draw that to the box. You might pick a wireless microphone. Not puffo. So, for example, here are some wireless microphones. There's a cool looking one. I'm going to insert that. Now, with a wireless microphone, we can't actually draw any wires to this because it's wireless. But we need a wireless microphone receiver, which would look something like what that is. I'm looking for a picture of this one by themselves. Ah, there. And we're going to put that in. So that is an old school version. This will set closer to your snake, but it doesn't have to have wires on stage. So now the wire actually connects from this receiver to the box. So if you want to have some hardwired and some not, these would be good for things like drums or anything that's not going to move, a guitar amp. This would be good for singers that are going to move around a lot. Yeah, there's not. So you just have to have some way to like show that these two things are connected. So I'd probably put them closer like that. So, and if you're going to use multiple microphones, you don't necessarily have to show that in this diagram. I understand that there will be more than one of these, and from your presentation, we should be able to see that. The wireless microphone here is connecting to your AES box, and that's running over. Now, I want you to label what kind of cable would connect these. So this would be an XLR cable, and then you can get in and make it much smaller so that it doesn't take up all the room. That would be an XLR cable, and since this is also an XLR cable, I'm going to paste it there. And then we said this is actually a Cat5 cable. I'm going to paste again because I like that it's already formatted. And we're going to say Cat5. Cat5 is an internet cable, Ethernet cable. You could also write Ethernet there. Okay, so now we need sound to go to the audience somehow. So from here, we are going to use this to go to a PA management system. And the one that I really like is called a Studio Rack PA2. Let's go to Sweetwater again. Studio Rack PA2. That's not what it's called, is it? What's the name of that? I know it's by PreSonus. No. Drive Rack. There we go. The Drive Rack PA2. I'm going to take a screenshot of it. Wait for it to pop up. Pull it over. Now, this little device is really cool. It actually takes an incoming signal and splits it so that your different frequencies travel to different places. Meaning, in an arena, you're going to want your subwoofers to have a dedicated signal to themselves. Because they're going to only be subwoofers and not subwoofers matched with something, we want to make sure that the subwoofer is only carrying sub signal. So it's more pure, it's not as muddy. The high frequencies will be removed so you don't have a 14-inch speaker trying to vibrate at 20,000 times a second. So what we need to connect to that, we're going to go back to our lovely friend, the arrow, and draw the arrow from here to here. We're going to need a second one because it's going to require two XLR lines to be able to do this. I'm going to go here and copy this again. Paste. Oh, we can just hit paste again. Nope, we can't. Paste there. So there's two XLR lines that run into that. So the full frequency signal is going to travel to this box. Now, coming from this box, we are going to go to our amplifiers, but we're going to have a lot more cables. Serial amplifier. Let's go something bigger than that. Again, if you have the exact pictures of your products, it does seem to work better. Schematic diagram of one. That's funny. Back to Sweetwater. Crown. Love crown amplifiers. So we'll take this one just for picture purposes. Now, I'm going to need multiple amplifiers. Since we've split the signal into 3 different levels, I'm going to need an amplifier for the highs, an amplifier for the mids, and an amplifier for the lows. And we actually have 2 wires, one for the left highs, one for the right highs. I don't like where I just placed that. Do those together. One for the left mids, one for the right. Oh, that arrow went straight on top. One for the right mids. Connect that over there. And then we're going to have one for the left lows and one for the right lows. Let's just make it all come from the same place. Okay, and all of those are going to be XLR cables as well. Copy, paste, paste, 3, 4, 5, 6. XLR, XLR, XLR. You get the idea here. Okay, so all those are now XLR. So now we're going to search for line array speakers. So these are line array speakers, and definitely what you would want to use if you are going to do a auditorium arena style thing. You may have seen these in our Peachtree Ridge auditorium at some point in time. You're going to need at least 2 sets of them. In your article, describe which ones you're going to choose, of course, in your presentation. Put a subwoofer. Put arena. I want a big style subwoofer. Just search big. Do-de-do-de-do. Sorry. Well, let's just go with a picture of this dude standing next to it up here. So more of an arena style sub here. Not fully, but closest thing we've got. Subwoofers. Gonna go here. And we're gonna need another set. So we're gonna go there. So now we have to connect all these. So we need, let me lower this down just a little bit. We have to think about this as the left side of the stage and the right side of the stage. We're going to connect this and this. So that's our subwoofer amplifier going to our subs left and right. And now up here, we're going to connect our left signal highs and our right signal highs. And we're also going to connect our left signal mids to our right signal mids. Now, it's like this speaker would be a high, this speaker would be high, this speaker would be a high, this would be a mid, this would be a mid, this would be a mid. So they alternate going down so that everybody gets the full frequency spectrum. You would daisy chain these speakers together so that they linked into one another signal-wise. So that's how that would work, and that's how that gets to all your speakers. And all these would not be XLRs at this point because that would be dangerous to anyone who was working on the system. These would actually be what we call speak-on. And if you remember from beginning, speak-on is a safety featured XLR cable. So speak-on. And we're just going to label those. It's actually, yeah. Okay, so that gets all the sound out to the audience. It looks fairly clean at this point, not too crazy. One of the last things we're going to need is a way to get the sound to the performers. So we call those in-ear monitors systems. And I'm looking for one that has a receiver and So you've seen performers on stage have those little things in their ear. Doesn't look like they're going to show me one. In-ear monitor system. So here we go. Here's in-ear monitor system. And you might need multiple ones of these. If you're going to have multiple different performers, but for our purposes, just a picture of one will work. And there's the picture. Slide it in down here. Shrink it up a little bit. Let's throw it up here. Now, this is not going to come from your PA management system. This is actually going to come straight off the mixing board through one of your auxiliary outputs. So we're going to go out to there. And again, that's XLR that would be doing that. And it could be actually TRS. So let's put XLR or TRS, depending on what your mixing board offers. So there we go. That is a completed sound flow diagram for a nice arena setup. So yeah, that works pretty good. Now let's quickly, because I've taken too much of your time already, go about putting together. I'm going to do one that I'm just going to use pictures where I have them and words where I don't. So here's a microphone. We're going to do a home studio setup right quick. So here's a microphone, and that microphone would connect to an audio box like we have at school, or actually let's do Scarlett 2i4. Perfect. So here's an audio interface. These are really cool, these Focusrite Scarletts. Ooh, it flipped. Then we would connect. You understand that you're going to have to go back and label them. So that would be an XLR connection there. From there, you would connect to your iMac computer. A lot of this stuff seems to be more readily available. That's good. And you would connect to your iMac computer via USB. So it's important now that that one be labeled USB. You might also have a MIDI keyboard. So you'd need to bring in your MIDI keyboard. This is also going to attach via USB, so make sure you label this as USB. Now, for your audio sound production, you're actually going to have the option to come off of your Focusrite and do some, let's say, near field monitors. Some speakers for you to have beside your computer. And that's going to be via TRS cables in order to carry that link. And then you might also, let's say, let's actually put outputs down here. So let's drag this and put this over to it. You might also use a nice pair of headphones. And since we're said outputs will be off this side, we're going down there. So we've got the ability for our microphones to go in to the box go to the computer. We do the work in the computer. We've got our MIDI keyboard and whatever other devices you want to use. And then here we're coming back. You could also put an electric guitar into this box. So you might want to put an electric guitar image if you're thinking about using instruments. And from there, that would also connect as an input. This would connect from an input on a TR instrument cable. So there you go. That's a pretty full fledged home recording system. You could buy more expensive parts than this, and you could buy better microphones than this. Just bear in mind what your budget is and what you're planning to do. So there are 2 different sound flow diagrams. I hope those help in the creation of what your final project is going to be. Have a good day. Let me know if you have any questions.